Hello YouTubers, this is a review of the Eigertec iPod, iPhone charging cradle. What you see here is an Apple dock for the iPod. Now after I bought my iPod Touch 3rd generation, I wanted a dock so I could hook it up to my stereo and play music through my stereo. So I bought this Apple iPod dock, and has a connection right here, and on the back has connection for the cable and has an audio out jack. Now this dock, which is basically a piece of plastic with a few jacks in it, cost me 50 bucks, and the cable that I got for it, it has audio and component and a charging cable built into it. This cable also cost me 50 bucks, so for the combination I paid 100 bucks. And I hooked it up and I used it with my iPod 3rd generation, and it worked fine. I could play music through the stereo. Until one day they updated the firmware on the iPod Touch, and this unit would no longer work. It would not play through my stereo. So basically this was a $50 item that became obsolete overnight, which kind of pissed me off that this happened. When I bought my iPod Touch 4th generation, I wanted to be able to play it through my stereo also, but I didn't want to pay 50 bucks again for another Apple dock that would probably soon become obsolete. So I looked online for a cheaper replacement, and what I found was this. This is an Eigertec iPhone iPod cradle, charging cradle they call it. And it's similar to the Apple model. It has a connector inside. It has the connector for the cable, and it has an audio output on the back. So this sells for a whopping $5.32 on Amazon. Now a lot of people might have thought, well, you know, $5.32, this is some cheap piece of crap made in China. It's not going to work or do anything, so, you know, don't waste your money. But after reading several reviews that said that it did work, and especially a few reviews that said that it worked with the iPod Touch 4th generation, I decided to buy it. And I thought, well, if it doesn't work, I'm only risking, like, you know, $6 something with the shipping, so I decided to go for it. So I ordered it, and about a week later it came in. And as you notice, it's black instead of white, which is fine. Black's a cool color in my opinion. It's like a rubberized finish to it, and it has a connector in and a cable connector and the audio output on the back. So I hooked it up. I used my Apple cable that I had previously purchased, and I hooked it up and I put my iPod in. I noticed that it was charging. I wasn't getting any error messages or saying not compatible or anything like that. At that point I had to leave for work, so I was not able to test the audio capabilities of it. And when I got home, I plugged the Y cable into the audio output on the back and plugged the other end into my stereo, turned on my iPod, and I put on Slacker radio, and wouldn't you know it, it worked. It worked perfectly. I was able to get the audio through my stereo, sounded fine, no error messages or anything. So basically, for $5.32, I have the functionality of the Apple dock, and I didn't have to pay a fortune for it. So I see no need to pay $50 for an official Apple dock when you get this thing that does the same thing. The only downside to this is that this slot right here is not wide enough to fit your iPod in with a case. I had a slim case on mine, and it would not fully seat in the connector, so I had to take the case off. And I believe it's the same thing with the iPhone, some people have said. So this may piss some people off that they can't use it with a case. To me, it doesn't make any difference. I don't think a case is a big deal to me. I don't mind a few scratches on my iPod. It doesn't affect the functionality of it. So I highly recommend this unit. For the price, you can't go wrong. $5.32. It works perfect. If you want a dock for your iPod to charge and to play through a stereo or external speaker system or whatever you have, I recommend it, and it works quite well for me. If you have any questions about this review or this product, feel free to ask them, and I'll do what I can to answer them for you. And thanks for watching this review.